Good morning. You can tell that it's no longer autumn around here. It's almost 42 degrees and I'm walking to church and I am looking at such beautiful, look at the leaves. Aren't they gorgeous? And it's just a beautiful day, although I just have to tell you, I could use some sun. But it's going to be a great day at church. We have some new people coming in today, and I have volunteered to help with serving coffee and dessert after church. So I'm hoping I don't mess anything up and they don't ever ask me to volunteer for anything again. But look at this tree. Look at the lovely nature I get to pass in the morning walking to church. When was the last time you walked to church? Well, as I said, I'm walking to church today and it's almost 42 degrees. So it's a little chilly. Anyway, I thought I would pop a little color around my neck, and it has a little orange and a little blue, so I decided I'd wear my little Teddy Blake blue purse with it because my pants are inline and my top is from inline here in Fontainebleau, and they're kind of like cream color. And of course, you know, my shoes are Vivias. But anyway, I'm just gonna get cozy, comfy, and start walking and enjoying the scenery, enjoying the brick on the walls, you know, the stones, because these are things I don't really get to pay any attention to during the week. I'm in such a hurry to go to the store or go here or go there. I never do get to pay too much attention to it. But on Sunday, when I walk to church, I kind of take an extra effort to pay attention to my surroundings. Anyway, my hair's looking a little wild, but I'll brush it when I get to church. But anyway, it's a great day, but I could use some sun. Did I mention that earlier? I think I did. Well, I can still use some sun. But anyway, I want you to have a great day. And I don't know where you live, but let me know if where you're living, you're having to already bundle up. I like it myself. Oh my goodness, hi baby, hi baby. Oh my goodness. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh my gosh, it was so cold in that church. I think it's 40 outside and it was 33 in the church. Oh my goodness, it's so cold. I'm gonna put on some warm, snuggy socks and warm clothes, and then I'll get with you in just a minute. I'm gonna answer some questions today that some of you have sent in. And, you know, we'll just chat. Except first I've gotta get coffee. Oh. Good morning. Again, I had to change clothes and I even have socks on. My feet are frozen. I had some work done in my kitchen yesterday and they put in some shelves for me. I don't know if you can see them. I think you can. And then there's a shelf right here and that's where I'm going to put my spices because as you can very well see, I am limited to space in my kitchen. So I've been using part of my cabinet here for my spices and things like that. So, that's going to change. Oh my goodness, I've got all this to clean up. Just a second. I can't make coffee with all this mess here. I just have to tell you, I'm frozen. I am frozen. We have church in a chapel that the Catholic school leases to us. I guess that's the best way I can say it. And I just realized today, I know this sounds crazy, but I just realized today that the church is a Church of England, but it's kind of an Episcopal, but it's different than the Church of England because we don't have to have allegiance to the king. So I don't know. Max, I'm talking. So I don't know, but it's because it's called St. Luke's Episcopal, but it's also part of the Church of England. So I don't know. All I know, the people are lovely. The new minister that we have is lovely, and it's just a great place to go. And today I was on the committee for serving coffee because we have coffee and cake and cookies that people make. Isn't that lovely? You go to church and then when you get through, you have coffee and cake and you get to stand around and talk with each other. I absolutely love it. I'm going to, I don't like that cup. Sorry, I have to wash this out just a minute because I want my cup that my daughter gave me that has like a little, for some of you who are new that may not know, when I moved over here, I brought a cat and a dog. One was Buster and one, of course, is Kitty. And Kitty, of course, is still with us, but Buster came down with congestive heart failure, right after we got here. And so he died last March, but he was a Shih Tzu too, and Jennifer gave me this cup last year, and it is so cute, and it reminds me so much of him. So I'm going to make my coffee out of that this morning. Now, I heat up I don't have a coffee pot, a coffee maker. I have water that I heat up. Now, since I just got my little shelf, I'm so excited. I'm going to usually I have little packets of decaf coffee. That's what I really like because you just break it open, you pour it in the cup, and it's just enough. You don't have to guess or anything. And but today I don't have any of those, so I have decaf coffee. So I'm going to put some in there, and I like to have it's oat milk. I mean, I know it's not special to you because you're in the States, and most of you are in the States, and you have, oat milk. But my oat milk that I get is from the wrong milk. That's almond milk. I don't want almond milk. This is barista, and it's oat milk barista, so it's really specially just for coffee. So I'm kind of excited to have it today because I'm excited to have anything right now. So I'm going to put my barista milk in there. Yes, Max, I'm still talking. Okay, this is what I do. It's kind of weird, but I'm kind of weird too. Max, stop barking at the cat. But I take my coffee with the milk in it and I put it in my microwave. Max, why are you barking? Max is barking because Max has no idea who I'm talking to. So I put it in my microwave for just a couple of minutes because I don't want to pour in hot. Max, please stop. I don't want to pour in hot coffee. No, wait a minute. I don't want to pour in hot water in a cup of cold milk. I mean, does that make sense to you? Probably not, but anyway. So now I'll take out my warm milk. Yay! As soon as my water gets hot, I'm going to pour it into my cup, and then I'm going to go into the living room, and I'm going to sit down and answer some questions. I don't know if you like Q&As, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I look at people and I go, oh, they're having a Q&A, and what is that about? And we're going to do something a little different. I asked Mary Grace to do this the other day because I saw another YouTuber do this, and I thought that was kind of neat because sometimes you don't understand the question or maybe you don't see it, so we're just going to have the little question pop up. How about that? Fancy pants, aren't we? It's almost ready. The little light's about to go off. Aha! It's now hot enough. Oh, is that a crack? Oh gosh, I hope not. It looks kind of like a crack. I hope not. Oh man, there's nothing better than a great, wonderful hot cup of coffee. Except, you know what? I think I'm going to take a piece of paper towel and fold it because I don't think I have any, coasters. You want to send me some coasters? Boy, that's kind of close, isn't it? You want to send me some coasters? Send me some coasters. Or maybe I should say, Jen, Christmas present, coasters, please. All right, let's go to the living room and talk. First of all, let me show you my new setup here. That's my new chair. And believe it or not, Kitty's not in it. Kitty's underneath the tree because she likes to get underneath the tree. And then look at that. Isn't that cute? It's like a little heater. And I absolutely love it. And I've got my cozy socks. I wasn't lying about that. Let me put my paper towel on here. I don't know that it'll make a... See, it doesn't get hot on the very top. So that's kind of nice, isn't it? Let me see if I can get you situated to where I want you. Okay. Okay, I don't want you too close. But I don't want you too far away either. So anyway, I'm just going to answer some questions that people have asked me. So bear with me because they may be questions that you might want to know about. Okay, the first question, I got this the other day, and after this lady asked me this, she said, that was the most ridiculous question I've ever asked. And I thought, when I first heard it, I thought, really? And then when she got the answer back, she said, Janice, I'm so sorry, that was the dumbest question. She asked me if Christmas was on the same day in France that it was in the US. And I said, yes, Christmas is Christmas wherever you are. It's December the 25th, wherever you live, you know. And after I answered, she said, Janice, I knew that. I knew that. People wondered, you know, do we celebrate 4th of July? No, we don't, because France didn't have any problem with the British at that particular time. In fact, they were kind of like on our side. But I'm sorry, I'm just trying to warm up the insides of my body. So anyway, so I get this question the other day also for people that are wanting to move to France. They said, what's a good salary? Well, you can't ever have enough money. But what I want to tell you is, on a rule of thumb, I think they say it's like $2,300 a person. So that'd be like $4,600 for two people. And a lady wrote that she only had $2,800 a month. Could she live on that? And I said, yes, absolutely you could. You know, because you wouldn't be able to buy a lot of clothes or do a lot of traveling, but you certainly could live on $2,800. I mean, my rent, and let me talk about this because this was asking a question also. When I say my rent is $1,305, that is not $1,305 US dollars. And that's one thing, if you're moving to France, you always have to take in consideration. 1,305 is 1,305 euros. And it depends on the conversion. Sometimes my rent is $1,400 a month. Sometimes my rent is $1,338 a month. It just depends on the conversion. So it's given to me in euros, but I have to take my money out of my US bank and have it converted to euros. So therefore it's a little bit more than what the 1,305 is. So that's kind of answering two questions. And my rent is, I have my Wi-Fi paid for, my electricity paid for, and my water paid for. And anything else that I have, it's paid for. I mean, you know, I'm just very blessed. I know people that are coming in now, they have to have a dossier, they have to show their last 3 months, you know, to the, we call them immobilier, and they are like real estate people that manage apartments, you know, excuse me. And, but you have to show that you have the money. And then there's this thing I'll leave underneath in the description, that if you're coming to France and you're wanting to rent, not an Airbnb, but if you're wanting to rent a house or an apartment, people are requiring you to have like a dossier telling how much you make. Now, I had a question from a woman yesterday. In fact, she emailed me and she said, Janice, I am 40-something years old. I want to go to school there. I want to study filming. I have a child. What do you think? And I absolutely said, oh my gosh, They're probably going to give you a student visa, but I don't know how you're going to make a living. I think student visas, sometimes you can work like 12 or 15 hours. Don't quote me on that because I don't know it for sure, but there's so many hours that you can work a week on a student visa, but that probably wouldn't be enough to even pay your rent. Unless you have money coming in consistently, because that's what the French want to know. That's all they care about. They don't care whether you have 3 houses in the States. They don't care whether you collect rent on those 3 houses in the state. Now, this is to get into France to get a visa. Now, I don't know about taxes because I don't have property. But they want to know that you have a consistent income. And that's why there's so many people that retire here, is because they have the pension. If there's a couple, both of you are getting Social Security. And then maybe one is getting a retirement, and then maybe another one isn't getting retirement, but they have the 401k that they can pull out each month. I don't know, but there's something that they want to know that comes in every month so that you won't be a burden on their country, which, it's understandable. So if you're coming over and you're 30, 40 or whatever, and you're not working for another company, or you're not working for a company here that's letting you, giving you the okay and helping you with your visa, I don't know how you're going to make it. Now, even if, just say, you're a millionaire. Well, let's don't say that, because if you're a millionaire, you don't have to worry about it. Anyway, let's just say you have like $50,000 in the savings, They don't care about that, because if you don't have any money coming in each month, they don't care about that $50,000 in savings. They don't care about your savings. They want to know on your bank statement what you have coming in each month. What is your pension? What is your Social Security? Because they know that that's consistent. And they know that whatever that is going to be like that forever. So that's what they're more concerned with. They're not really concerned with how much money you have in savings or how many 401ks you have or anything like that. But if you're in your 40s, I just think it would be very difficult. Now, you might want to come over here and be a student, and maybe you have some money saved up for a year, to do that, and that would be great. But other than that, I would be very leery if I was 40-something years old and had a child to come over here as a student. I think I would just say no on that. Absolutely no on that. Then I have questions from people about the insurance. What does it cost? What is your plan like? What does it cost to go to the doctor? What does it cost to get your medicine? When you go to the doctor here, it costs 26 euros, which is probably, according to the conversion, however it's going, about $29. And even at home, I remember my insurance with Aetna had a $40 copay. So I'm even coming out a little bit better than that. So, and then my medicine, it depends on what kind of medicine it is. It's usually 18, 20, something like that a month for my medicine. I have noticed, though, that I can get my vitamins on Amazon a little cheaper than I can at the pharmacy. But then again, when you go to the pharmacy, you can get makeup cheaper than you can anywhere else. So it's kind of, you have to just pay attention to it. But insurance is just, it's very reasonable here, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you can get it maybe within the first 2 or 3 months. It may take you 6 months. But remember, you already have, in order to get over here, to get a visa, to stay for that first year, you have to have an insurance plan. So you already have that, so you don't have to worry about that, because that's mainly for hospitalization. But CPAN, when you get on it, what they do is you go to the doctor, and then whatever CPAN pays, you just get reimbursed, Now, next question, we're going to talk about that. How do you open a bank account? Well, I happen to be, I think, the last of the people to move over here to get a bank account. I've been over here almost 3 years, and I just got my bank account like 3 weeks ago. The first time I went into a bank here in Fontainebleau, I went in and asked if I could open up a bank account. And she said, "Do you speak French?" And I said, "No." She said, "Well, then you can't open a bank account." Okay. So I never did even worry about it. So I've just been paying my rent each month through Chase and through Wise Transfer. And so then I had some friends of mine say that they went to a a woman in another town, and she spoke great English, and they got their bank account open. I thought, okay, I'm going to email her and get an appointment. And she kept saying, well, I have to show where I paid my taxes, Well, I don't pay taxes here. I did my taxes, and I did the form and sent it in, but I don't pay taxes because I only have a pension and Social Security. And United States and France have this thing is you can pay it there, you can pay it here. And, so I just showed that I don't make any money here. And so I did that. But I don't have anything to show her that I did that or that I got a return back from them or anything because I had just done it in October. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try here in Fontainebleau. So I walk into the bank that I always go in and get my cash from. And I said, I would like to open up an account. And they said, okay. And I said, I don't speak French. And they said, okay. So there's this woman called Crystal. And one of the things when you move here, you have your own banker. You don't go to Julie one day and Janice the next day and Peggy the next day or Matt the next day. You have the same one you use all the time. So I made an appointment to see her, and she opened up my account. I took every blasted piece of paperwork I had. I even took my birth certificate. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to worry about what kind of information they want. I'm going to take it all, and they can have it all or they can have some of it. So what the point I was trying to make with the insurance is, if you have a French bank account, what they'll do is they'll reimburse you through your French bank account. Just like that, just that easy. So now that I have that, I'm going to start with the CPAM paperwork next week. One of the questions that I get asked all the time, we want to come to France, but we don't know where we're going to live. Can we stay in an Airbnb? Absolutely, you can stay in an Airbnb. All you need is to get that Airbnb, set it up, and get their address so that when you fill out the paperwork, you just put down that's where you're going to be living for the next 30 or 60 days. They don't care as long as they know where you're going to be. So if you're going to stay with friends, give them that address. If you're going to stay in the Airbnb, give them that address. If you're going to stay in a hotel for a month, give them that address. I also get questions about how I brought my animals over. I was very anxious about this, about bringing my animals over. So if you're bringing over an animal, now I don't know anything about big dogs. I have no idea about crating them or anything like that, and putting them under the plane and cargo. And I don't know how to do all that. All I know is I had a cat and a dog. And we just had them, in the best one that the airline said was the Sherpa. And we got ours at PetSmart. And I got one for the dog, one for the cat. And we didn't have to sedate them or anything, but about 4 hours before departure, I didn't let them have any food or water because with the kitty, I thought she might get sick. And then with Buster being older, I didn't want him to go to the bathroom. So we didn't let them have food or water, and they made it just fine. In fact, their nerves were a lot better than mine when I first got here. But there is a great deal that you have to do in order to get your pet to France. So it's not just having the right airline carrier or the right airline or letting the airline know that you're going to have an animal. I would never book a flight without that airline knowing that I'm going to have an animal, because sometimes they already have some animals there, and there can only be so many animals in a cabin. So you have to make sure that, they have not exceeded their limit. But there's a great deal that you have to do, and you need to make sure that you have a veterinarian that knows what in the world they're doing. Because, listen, we did not get our paperwork until the day before I left. And I had to go to the doctor, the veterinarian. I had to go to the veterinarian to pick it up. And I was like, really? Of all this other stress, I've got to worry about getting this paperwork, because if I can't take my animals, I can't get on the plane. But yeah, it has to go to the agricultural department and all of that kind of stuff. So, it's stressful taking an animal, but really it's more stressful for us than it is for them. I got one the other day that I thought was a neat question. And Well, it really wasn't a question, it was a response. And it says, "You are absolutely gorgeous and inspiring. My husband and I are retiring early and full-time traveling abroad until we find a permanent home outside the U.S. We dream of France and the time just like you. Thank you for all you're doing to help us think outside the box and believe in our dreams." Isn't that nice? That just makes really it all, what I do and why I do this is for you guys, So thoroughly enjoy your approach. Also loved your old one. I'm learning so much. I had a lot of people say that they enjoyed the other approach and the way I used to do things, but they really enjoyed just me sitting down and talking. So I'm hoping you're enjoying this video. I am 71 and I love France. I think I'm going to move there also. How do you get from place to place if you don't drive? I walk. I walk to church. Well, I did this morning, but I got a ride home because it was so cold and rainy. But I walk to church. It's about a 15-minute walk. I walk to the vets. I walk to the grocery store. If I want to go to the big grocery store, then I catch the bus right down the street, 8-minute walk, and then I go to the great big grocery store, and then I take the bus back home, and then walk 8 minutes home, and I'm here. So everything I walk to. I walk to my doctor, I walk to the eyeglass place, I walk to my pharmacy. So everywhere I walk. Now, if it's a rainy day like today and cold, if I were going to have to go shopping today, which I'm not, thank goodness, I'm going to get to stay inside. I would take the bus, because I just would. Because I'm not lazy, but I don't want to be cold and uncomfortable. And the bus is only $2.50. That's €2.50. During the Olympics, it went up to $5. So I was so glad when the Olympics was over with. So it went back down to $2.50. And, that's another thing. I just got a question about that the other day. Let me tell you. Let me tell you this about the buses and the metros. Let me take a sip real quick. For those of us that have a bank account and that you're over 62, you can get what you call a Navigo pass. And it's about that big. It's like a credit card. It has a little picture of you on the back. And you go to the train station, or you can do it on your phone. And the first of every month, you can get a Navigo pass. Now, I've not had a bank account, so I've really been losing out on money. I've been having to pay like $75, $80 a month just to have a Navigo pass. Now, this Navigo pass will pay for the entire month, any train that you want to go on in the 5 zones. Now, if you're going to go into Provence, or you're going to go to Lyon or anything like that, of course you have to pay. But if you're in the 5 zones, like I live in Ile-de-France, so if you're in Paris, Ile-de-France, Versailles, any kind of subdivision out, by Paris, it's all covered. So now that I have a bank account, guess what I pay? €34, which is about $37 a month. I can go on any metro at any time, any bus at any time. So all I have to do is show my bus driver, or just slide it against the little machine when I get on the bus, and I've got it made. But all this time I've been spending all this money because I didn't get a bank account. Next question. What about your Social Security? Do we lose Social Security when you move? Absolutely not. No. In fact, I just went to the bank the other day, made an appointment, went to the bank. They filled out some forms for me. I'm mailing those forms in Monday morning to the embassy here in Paris, and they're going to forward them on to Social Security, and I will be getting my Social Security check in my bank in euros. So this is the big benefit for me. When I pay my landlord 1305 euros, I don't have to convert. I don't lose any money. I pay 1305, and that's going to be great. And they're going to set it up as it's automatic. So at the beginning of the month, I've been having to call my daughter and say, pay my rent, because we take it out of Chase, we put it to Wise Transfer, and I don't do that anymore. It will come straight to my bank, and on the 3rd of each month, I get my check, and I'm going to set it up where it automatically goes to my landlord at the 3rd of each month. So I am so happy to have that, because that's going to save me a little money. So no, you do not lose your Social Security. And do you have to have a bank account and put your Social Security in it? Nope, you don't. I could have put one of my retirement benefit checks in it, but I didn't want to, because I know that Social Security sends out an abundance of checks the 1st of every month to people that live in Europe. And they get a basement bargain deal on the way the euro is converted. So I went ahead and just had my one account, my Social Security check sent to my bank here. And my retirement pensions, they'll just stay in the States. And that way I have money in the States, because I need, money in the States. Because, I have Amazon. I need to pay my Amazon bill. Okay, the next question I get a lot is this. What about Medicare? You cannot use Medicare in France. Now, when I first moved here, my Medicare guy said, you can use your Medicare there. You just have to pay up front and then turn your paperwork into Medicare, and they will reimburse you. That is not true. Medicare will not pay for you to be in another country, for the bills in another country, for you to see a doctor, go to the hospital, or anything like that. They just won't. So Medicare, if you're going to move here and you're going to go back and forth to the States, you may want to keep it. I just made the decision after 2.5 years that I just dropped my Medicare. And that will give me an extra $175 a month. And that will make a huge difference, because number one, I don't go back to the States. Now, what I did do is I kept Medicare A, of course. That's the hospitalization in case I get sick or whatever. I can use my Medicare A. I just dropped my Medicare B, which is what I pay for. And then while I was online waiting for 40 minutes to talk to someone, which I thought that was really great, because usually you have to wait 2 hours, it said Medicare was going up $10 in the January 2025. So not only was I saving $175, now I'm going to be saving $185. So I will not be getting Medicare Part B, but I will still continue getting Medicare Part A, which of course is no charge to me. Now, the kicker to that is, if I ever go back to the United States to live, which I don't think I ever will, you have to pay a penalty to start your Medicare again. So there is, a penalty that you do have to pay. We don't ever know what's going to happen to us. Sorry, I changed the way I was sitting. But anyway, we just don't know what's going to happen with us. So as far as I know, I'm not going back. Now, if I were to get, come down with that dreaded disease, Alzheimer's, and have to be put in a home, and my daughter felt that it was safer or better for me to be closer to her, then of course I would go back to the States, and then of course I would pay the penalty for having to take Medicare B again. So there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts about it, but I thought right now I'm going to save $175 a month, which I calculated to be $2,100 a year, and I've been here 2 years. I could have used that $4,200. I could have bought more clothes. Next question I get all the time. Do you have to know French? Absolutely not. Now, if you live out in the country and you're not close to a city, you may want to know French to talk to your neighbors. But I would never say don't come to France because you don't know French. But I'd always say start learning it as soon as you can, because I don't know, I think it's just part of the culture. I've been really, really lax on learning French. I've tried to learn it with Lisa, and Lisa is so patient with me, and I love her to death. And then just life gets in the way, and I don't make the classes, and then, and then she gets frustrated with me because I'm not doing what I need to do, and she's a good friend of mine. So I just stopped with Lisa because I just would rather have her as a friend than a teacher, if that makes any sense. So now in January, I'm going to start going to, there's a French academy here in Fontainebleau. I knew nothing about. I mean, it seems like I've been walking around in a cloud. But anyway, I just found out about that. And it's a little high. It's 280 euros a month. So that's probably about 290. But remember, I'm not paying 175 for Medicare. So that will help pay for my French lessons. And I'm going to take it January and February and see how it goes. And it's 2 days a week for 2 hours a day. And I find with me, if I've paid and I have to be accountable, I'll show up. For Lisa, it was just too easy to say, oh, I didn't get a good night's sleep last night. I really don't want to do this today. Oh, I'm too cold. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. Oh, I've got to make a video. I've got to talk to this person. It just, it's crazy. So I think that I'm going to try that in January. Well, I know I'm going to try it because I've already let the lady know that I'm interested. So if she can have a beginner's class, that's going to be great. Now, one more question I'll answer about the language. People say in order to become a citizen, you have to know French. Not if you're over 65, you do not. You do not have to know French. You do not have to take a test. You don't. I think they recognize at our age, it's really hard to retain and hard to learn a new language. But I think it is very important that you try. And the same thing with me, but it is not necessary for you to know it. Now, I just happen to be very lucky because both my landlords speak English very well. One is from the States and her husband is French, but of course he speaks great English, So I just lucked out there. So I know some other people have not been as lucky, but you can kind of get across what you want. And then like me, I've been here long enough now that I've kind of established a group of friends. So if I do have to call on somebody and say, what does this mean? What do I need to do? Would you go with me? Would you just walk down the street with me and explain to them what I'm doing? And then like the other day, I went to get an appointment with my doctor and I practiced the whole time before I got there. I got on Google Translate. I need to make an appointment. I need to make an appointment. And an appointment in French is called rendezvous. So I was going, I don't know, rendezvous. Anyway, I practiced it and practiced and practiced. Je dois prendre rendezvous. I think that's what it was. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, I was so proud of myself. Of course, she didn't think anything of it. You're supposed to talk French, lady. But you'll find a lot of French people will apologize that their English is not good. And I said, hey, don't apologize to me. You live in France. You're supposed to speak French. You're not supposed to speak English. And then the other day I went to the lady where I go shopping, grocery shopping for my organic stuff. And she said, talking to me in French, she said, hi, Janice, how are you? And of course, I'm saying bonjour. And she says, how are you, blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, starting in January, no more English. No more English. She goes, no, I want to practice. I said, you practice on someone else. I've got to learn French, and I'm going to be taking lessons here in Fontainebleau. And I'm going to tell my teacher I'm here to do it. And so anyway, she said, okay, but between now and then we can speak English. And I said, okay. And this is the store. They were so nice to me. They ordered cottage cheese for me. They heard me ask for it one day, and one of the ladies said, well, let me see if we can order it for you. And they did. It's lovely. I love my community. I know I've kind of rambled on today, but I wanted to let you know what my day was like, and I wanted to answer some of your questions. And I hope I have. Now, a lot of you have been asking me, where is the e-letter that I was going to let everyone have? because I did a complimentary e-letter. You will be able to receive a complimentary e-letter, and it's all about moving to France. Is it everything you need to know? Absolutely not. But it's just a compilation. It's just a compilation of facts that I've put down to make an e-letter. So that's December the 15th. You can go to my website and sign up to get your e-letter, and it's about moving to France. Now, you can always email me at janiceinfrance@gmail.com if you have a specific question that I've not been able to answer. And then you can always go to Ann Scott's postcards from our golden years. It's a YouTube, and she puts out fabulous YouTubes. She's already here in Nice. But before she got here, she did so much research. So you can go follow her on the YouTube and see what's going on with her now that she's living in Nice, and then also go back to some of her older videos and find out some of the information that they found out before they moved here. Now, they moved from Florida and I moved from Atlanta. So sometimes we have a little bit of difference, when we go to the VFS to take our paperwork and stuff like that. And every state may be a little different. It's just the way it is. And even here, I have friends that live in Paris, and when they go to their prefecture to pick up their carte de séjour card, they go in Paris, and some of them have to do some things, and some of them don't have to do some things, like I had to do. Like my prefecture in Milan, they wanted me to have my bank account, my top 3 pages of my bank account, translated into French. And you can't just have it translated like by a friend. It has to be someone that the government approves. And I paid $299 for that, and they never asked for it. They asked for it on the website. They sent me an email saying they wanted it, but nobody ever asked for it when I got to the prefecture. So don't think you've got to do anything until they ask for it. And then even after they ask for it, it may not be any good, but I wasn't going to take a chance. I would always check out other people's YouTube. I would check out the VFS, because that's who you have to go through, because they have a checkoff list of paperwork that you need to have. I would always go and research various different people, because what I have to do in Fontainebleau, they may not have to do in Nice. What they have to do in Paris, they may not have to do in Fontainebleau. So every region that you live in can be different. So the e-book is just kind of an overall of what I did and what happened to me. I think I'm going to end on that. The cat is asleep underneath the tree with only lights on. The dog is asleep right beside my little fuzzy footstool, and I am comfy cozy. And thank you so much for following me today. Subscribe and share if you like my videos. And I'm back, folks. I told you, I am back. Video one Sunday, the next Sunday, a vlog post. And then, or vlogcast, like a podcast, but I'm doing it. And then the next week, another video, then vlog. But now we may get a little messed up during Christmas because I have family coming over and I want to spend time with them. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me. As always, au revoir.